She's also known as the Oracle Wellbeing Coach. For over 23 years, she has helped women confidently answer the poet Mary Oliver's question, tell me what is your plan to do with your one wild and precious life? As a trusted educator and life coach, Monique's passion is to blend modern techniques and ancient wisdom to empower individuals to claim their ultimate well-being. She's a certified Clifton Strengths Finder Coach with over 20 years of executive experience in education, corporate, and spa settings. She's also a NAMA certified Ayurvedic Practitioner, certified Astrologist and Tarotist. Her clients call her the Oracle Being in Touch Oracle, and her business is Being in Touch. And her business website is moniqueblake.com, and Instagram is Being in Touch Inc. So welcome to the stage, Monique. And let me just remind everybody, if you want a session with any of the readers or healers, go into the breakout rooms, into room number 2. We have Kiana willing to help you. And right now in room number 1, we have Janice finishing up her playroom experience, and we have Ms. Shafali going to be taking over. So thank you, Monique. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. I just want to ask if I can have permission to share my screen. I have a short PowerPoint.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I hope everyone can see. So I want to welcome you to the Tarot and Astrology Power Hour. It's not actually an hour, but I'm going to give you enough information to make it feel like you're an hour. It's an hour. I just want to make one quick update. I need to change this, but my website is moniqueblake.com, and I recently changed my Instagram to Monique Blake Inc. So you can find me there and follow me there. So let's get started. We're going to talk about, as Sheri said, an update for the new moon, which will be happening on Monday. If you're in the States, that is Memorial Day. So I love music, and I'm always inspired by music. So every session, I always think about what song is resonating with the material that I'm sharing. So today I'm taking a lyric from the great Carole King. My, of course, version is Simon and Garfunkel, but she talks about the importance of a good friend. So when you're down and troubled and you need some love and care and nothing is going right, just close your eyes, think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even the darkest night. And that is a part of what we're going to embrace with this new moon in Gemini, this idea of friendship, communication, playfulness, and fun. And we deserve it. We've had a very challenging eclipse season. We started this year, eclipse season started April 30th with a solar eclipse in Taurus. Then it was followed by a very intense Scorpio lunar eclipse on the 15th or 16th, depending on where you are in the world, of May. And so now, you know, we're really coming up for a break. So we've had these 2 eclipses, one in Scorpio and one in Taurus. We've had Mercury go into retrograde. So it's this kind of really dramatic shift of energy. As Juliana said before in her presentation, I think that we have as a whole reconsidered how we approach Mercury retrograde, and we're not in the space anymore. And I'm happy to see this out in the astrology world, where people are looking at it as a purely bad thing. It is sometimes disruptive for sure, but the point of it is to create an opportunity to revisit, to rethink, to reevaluate, to review how we're communicating, whether it is through contacts, whether it's through our words, whether it's through transportation, commerce, all the things that are associated with Gemini. So we've had these really 3 impactful the 2 eclipses and the Mercury retrograde, among other things, that has made the last month very challenging for a lot of people. So I'm happy to tell you that we're finally going to get a breath of fresh air. So On Monday, May 30th at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have a new moon in Gemini at 9 degrees. And new moons are always a great time to put our intentions into the world. It's a great time for beginnings. So if you want to start something around the Gemini theme in your chart, this would be a good time to put it out there. It's not necessarily the best time to act on it because Mercury is still in retrograde, but nevertheless, this is a good time to think about. Now, Gemini speak to how we communicate. So whether it is putting our voice to our intentions, whether it is making a conversation with a friend and sharing, or whether it is that we're writing down and journaling our intentions, all of that is supported by the Gemini energy. So once again, new moons are this opportunity for new intentions and putting it out in the world. And with Gemini, it's about communicating it effectively. All righty. So Gemini is an air sign, and air signs have this quality of flow. You know, they flow, they kind of move effortlessly. And so this is the kind of energy that we want to tap into. Gemini is also a mutable sign, which means there's this transformative quality. There's this continual breaking down to recreate this flow. It is about communication. It is about curiosity, the curiosity of a child, the innocence of a child. It is about our friends and spending time and playing with our friends. And it is about definitely having fun. So this weekend, commit to having fun, commit to not spending time with Mercury in retrograde, worrying about the things that you cannot change, right? Don't spend time obsessing mentally about what you're going to say or how you're going to communicate something. Just for this season of the new moon, let all of that go and just focus on having some fun. We rarely are in need of this playful energy. So please make that a part of your agenda for this weekend. So, you know, a part of what I do that's very important to me is to always to make whatever I'm presenting very practical. I call what I do practical spirituality, because it's lovely to talk about these lofty concepts, but we need to be able to bring it into our lives and to apply it practically and have an impact, to see a result. So I am going to ask you, I'm going to invite you, whether you know a lot about astrology or whether you know zero about astrology, to start looking at your chart. And a good place to cast or to create your natal chart, there's lots of places online that you can do that now. But one of the places is astro.com. You can do it for free, and they will cast your natal chart. You will need your day, month, and year of birth, the place where you were born, city and state or city and country. And most importantly, you will need your accurate birth time. That accurate birth time makes a huge difference in different elements of your chart. So what I'm going to inspire you to do this weekend is to go ahead and cast your chart. And you want to see where Gemini is on your chart. What house, what the houses represent different areas of your life. So what house is the light, the sun and the moon shining their light in your chart? So actually, this is my chart that I'm showing you. And you will see that this is the symbol for Gemini. And you can see that Gemini is on my 12th house cusp. All right, so again, this is the glyph or the symbol for Gemini. It represents the twin. And it is on my 12th house. So the houses are listed on the interior of the wheel. and the signs are listed on the exterior of the wheel. Uh, so I have this little chart here. If you want to take a little snapshot, I will invite you to do that. So you can see what topics Gemini will have an impact for you in this new moon. So each of these houses, when you look at the chart, there's 12 pieces to the pie. And each of those pieces are houses, and those houses represent specific areas in your life. So when we look at the 12th house, right here, you'll see that it's about retreating, it's about solitude, and it's about my potential, and if I'm not using this energy productively, then it can be the house of my undoing, where I feel I have to make a sacrifice, or where I'm confined, or any hidden enemies. So I was speaking to a lady earlier today, and I wanted to make clear to her that astrology is not fatalistic, in that you always have a choice in how you're going to use the energy. So you can use it in a productive way, or you can use it in an unproductive way. Either way, it is what it is, and it's your choice. And if you want to switch it up and speak to your life on a more productive level, then you will endeavor to do what is more productive. But you do have a choice. There's not anything, there are patterns that are etched in your life, but you also have a choice in how you live out those patterns. So what you want to do, as you can see again in my chart, my Gemini is on the 12th house cusp. It is at 16 degrees. I also have different planets that are also in Gemini. So this new moon is going to be important for me, right? It's going to be important to me. This is the glyph for the sun. So that's who I am consciously, what I'm here to express. And it is also important to me for my Mercury and how I communicate. So let's talk a little bit about that for you as well. Let's continue. So we're going to look for the planets. And as I just pointed out, my Mercury is in Gemini. And you don't have to worry about memorizing these symbols. When you cast your chart, they will tell you what they are. So you'll have a little key or cheat sheet to look at. So I found my planets in Gemini. And now I'm going to look at planets that are close to 9 degrees. And close in astrology is a relative term. There are some people who want to have a much smaller orb, right? And some people who are okay with a wider orb. But just know that if the moon is 9 degrees, Gemini, and my Mercury is 3 degrees, Gemini, it's going to be about 6 degrees of separation. So that will have an impact on me, right? And if I had my Mercury 9 degrees and it was exactly the same as the moon, it would have a greater impact on me. So the closer the planet degree is to the moon degree of 9 degrees, the more impact it will have in your life. Okay, so I also have my sun at 16 degrees. So that's, also relatively around the same degree of separation. So it's also going to be something that impacts my sun, how I show up consciously in the world. So for me, when I look at my chart, this new moon is going to highlight my 12th house, right? Because my Gemini is on my 12th house. And it's also going to highlight my Mercury because it's in Gemini, and my sun because it's in Gemini. So this is like a little trifecta for me. It's going to wake up an opportunity for me to communicate and express myself in a new way. Okay, everybody got that? All righty, so let's move on to what I call the advanced tip. So this is going to be for those who want to take a chance and to do something a little bit more advanced. And again, it does not matter if you have lots of astrology experience or zero astrology experience, you can still try out these tips. Yes, somebody said, Sheri, yes, this is a triple whammy for me. So I'm looking forward to a breath of fresh air for this new moon. So the other advanced tip is to look at what is opposite to your house of Gemini. So this chart is not my chart. This chart actually belongs to a famous person. And you'll see that their 10th house is ruled by Gemini. Okay, so 10th house is ruled by Gemini. If you go back, you'll see the 10th house is about their reputation, their status, their honor, and their fame. It has a lot to do with their career, right? And their authority in the world. So that person is going to have that section of their life highlighted. Like me, they also have Mercury and the Sun in Gemini as well. So again, they're going to have an opportunity to express themselves, which is what the Sun does, and communicate that in a new and refreshing way. So the advanced tip is we want to see where they can create balance. And the advanced tip is to look at the house that is across from the 10th house. And the house that is across from the 10th house is the 4th house, right here, the 4th house. The 4th house is about family, home, childhood, family secrets. So what this person will do is they will have to have an opportunity to balance some of the things that happened to them in childhood. And this is Saturn in Scorpio. So I know that it's going to be about the father because Saturn often represents the father. And if the father was using his Scorpio energy in an unproductive way, it might have been that he was not present in her life, or he was an alcoholic, or maybe he had some kind of drug issue. So she's going to have to balance all of that emotional, Scorpio is a very deeply emotional sign, all of that emotional childhood experiences, and reconcile it, balance it out with how she's showing up and communicating in her career. So this is the advanced tip. You get to look to see what's on the other side of the house that is ruled by Gemini, and to see where you have an opportunity to balance, because everything in astrology really is symbiotic. Nothing really is in isolation. Everything relates to everything else. And this is just one of the ways that we can look at relationships. And if I have a little bit more time, I will say that another little advanced tip is that Mercury, Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. So we want to know how we're going to, what advantage or how Gemini's ruling planet is going to be played out in this new moon. And since Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is presently in retrograde, we know that maybe this communication of our intentions maybe is, more self-reflective. We're turning back into ourselves. It might be something that we want to be mindful that we're not creating excess worry around or creating anxiety with our thoughts, turning them back on ourselves in an unproductive manner. It might also be that even though we're setting intentions right now, that this is not the best time to put them in action because Mercury is in retrograde. Mercury will be out of retrograde on the 3rd of June, but it takes a little time to catch up to its normal speed. And so by June 14th, it will be back to its normal speed. And so that would be a good time to start putting some of the intentions that you set around this new moon into the world. So that is what I would invite you to, delve into. to see how you can really use this new moon energy. And I share this because I want to make it, clear that each of us will have a different experience. She has the sun and Mercury in Gemini, just as I did, but she has it in the 10th house. I have it in the 12th house. We will have different experiences. I will have one that is unique to me, and she will have one that is unique to her. So this idea of a broad stroke that you often see in horoscopes, they're good for you to understand the cycle of things. But when we want to really use astrology as a personal tool, we have to find out how it specifically speaks to our life. And you start by casting that chart and start doing the work. If you have a curious mind, if you're inspired by the curiosity of this new moon, then this would be a great time to delve into astrology. When you think about Mercury and who he was in astrology, he was the messenger. So you can look for messages from your spirit guides, deeply inward reflective. You can look for messages from your meditation. Don't ignore them, right? Because he was the only God that was able to move freely from the heavens to Hades. He was able to move freely from both the most highest consciousness to our lowest consciousness. This is why Mercury is often considered the trickster planet, because we live in the trenches of our mind and we don't use it often enough in a productive way. So with this information, you can consciously make a choice as to how you're going to be intentional with the energy of this new moon, and whatever it is and wherever it is in your chart. Again, because of this really hectic eclipse season, I really inspire you to have fun. We need a little fun. We need a breath of fresh air. And this new moon will give us just that. So I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have as we wrap up on the new moon in Gemini, and just ask you to dive in and have some fun this weekend with this new moon and the intentions that you're setting for yourself. Thank you so much. And please feel free to go to my website, moniqueblake.com. I share a new moon blog, and I will have often share rituals that you can do for the new moon. So just additional information about how you can optimize this time. And I'm also on Instagram at Monique Blake Inc. And I have a lot of fun tips for astrology there. This year, my focus is on astrology. So you'll see a lot of it speaking to astrology and how it can support you in your personal journey here. Okay, Sheri. Let's see, Sheri, I'm wrapping up. While I guess the host is not here, if anybody has a quick question, I'd be happy to support you with your questions. I know that was a lot of information that I gave really quickly. Someone asked, what is our node? Our node is our lunar node. It's a mathematical calculation, and it's in Vedic astrology, it's a lot more important. It's given a lot more importance in Western astrology, but in Western astrology, we talk about it as our destiny points. So it's our destiny points. This is, what we have to release in our south node, because we have two. We have two nodes. The south node is what we're releasing from past lives, past karmas, as well as our talents. And the north node is our destiny point, what we need to do or level up in this lifetime. So I hope that makes sense. I'm seeing a message here that we're moving over to the room for speed readings. So I hope that I got everybody's question. Yes, thank you. Somebody said they love this stuff. I appreciate that. And someone said, I'm a Scorpio, my dad is alcoholic. So yes, all my life healing is this. Yes, so let's, you please go, yes, if you want to join my mailing list, just go on my website and put yourself on the mailing list and you will get the monthly new moon block. So with that, I believe we're all moving over to the speed reading room and I will see you there. And thank you so much and happy new moon. Be well,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't go anywhere because speed reading rooms are in their private rooms. And that's when we open it up like dating. So this is when you get a chance to go into Monique's room or Jen's room or Shafali's or Juliana or Royden's available. Everybody who's been here to speak already today is all available in their rooms for the next 30 minutes. You can join there on your own if you wish. You can go to the breakout rooms on your own and jump right in, go and join into their rooms, or we will place you. But before you do that, I believe Monique has a door prize. And if you'd like to win a door prize with Monique, put your number in the chat from 0 to 100. I'm really excited, Monique, because you know I got Gemini smack dab down there. And what happens when it was in the nodes with the Gemini?
The nodes, it just speaks to more of a karmic, opportunity to set a new intention around something that's more of a karmic concern for you. So is it your north node, your south node in Gemini? Do you know?
Bottom of my chart.
Bottom of your chart. So is it the upside down U or the U?
It's a U. It's like a U shape. Okay. But it's going down, not up.
Okay, so it's a U shape, like a cup.
Opposite.
That's your south node. Mm-hmm. And so this is a new opportunity for you to release a way of communicating that may not be as effective for you. Even though it's something you rely on, you're used to it, you have, every experience with it. It's just a new opportunity for you to kind of move in a new direction and communicate in a different way. Something that will allow you to move forward in a different way.
So the north node, as long as the U shape like a real U, that's on top of the chart, and the bottom of the chart is the south. And so it's all about right now communication, and it's my karma, and it's in my communication area in my third and my fourth. Right.
So definitely if it's in your third house and it's in Gemini and it's in your south node, it's like, it is there's a lot of information there about communicating in a different way. The third house deals with how you communicate, how you learn, your siblings, your neighbors, all of that kind of logical mind. And so there's an opportunity if you have your south node in Gemini in the third house. All of that speaks to a new opportunity of really releasing a way of communication that does not really work for you. Even if you don't really understand that fully, maybe it will give you an external event to bring your attention to it. But there's a way of communicating that you have a new and better way of embracing once you release this way of communicating. Yeah, somebody's asked. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. So we got some numbers in the chat. Anybody who's just joining us, if you'd like to win a session with her, put your number in the chat, and you cannot apply if you've already won a session today. If you're just joining us, put your number in the chat. And then she's going to hold up a number, and the number closest to her number is going to be the winning number. And then we're going to open the rooms.
Full disclosure, I always do my number at the beginning of the session. So this is my number. Is everybody done putting their number in? So this is my number. It's the same as Juliana. I had this written early this morning.
So great. So we got a 44 and we got Laura. Congratulations, Laura.
So Laura, I will
Mhm.
meet you in the breakout rooms.
Yep, she's going into her breakout room. Congratulations, Laura. Now, everybody, we're going to be able to move you. You can move yourself into any of the rooms. And MoniqueBlake.com has a class coming up possibly in July. I highly suggest you take it because she's awesome. I took her other class and she's a great teacher. And every time she talks, I just pull out my chart, honestly. And I always keep writing. I keep writing and writing and writing on my chart. There's like, I never stop learning about all my houses and everything. And work in progress.
Yes, that's the good part. We always have an opportunity to do it again. As long as we're breathing.
Yeah, so it's
thank you,
time
Sheri.
to have fun, everybody. Different ways of communicating. Curiosity, friendship, commit to having fun, play. So right now, guys, we're opening up the rooms. This is, if you haven't done this yet, go to the bottom of your screen. It says more, or it has 4 boxes. Click on it and you're going to see a screen that's going to pop up. It's like a menu board and you're going to see a bunch of rooms. It says 1, playroom, 2, psychic booking room, and then we have numbers starting. So Jen is number 12. You can go into her room if you want to have a session with her. Monique is in 15. She's right now, she was the one who just got off the stage. Mila is in 27. She's intuitive clarity healer. Dr. Lenore is in her room, number 33. Millie, the iridologist, is number 40. Juliana Rose